Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, page 3. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans who were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Saviour having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of mirror with qualities like a vast ocean. To you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality. To the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to their great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms' atoms in all aspects. With supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 15, the Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagawan was dwelling on Massa Vulture's mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharadvatiputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment and reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisoha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Page 25. Osashipur kichukshel metok chamrirabling nidegen party sangye shingdu mite ulwa yitro Namdak Shingla Chopasho Jetsun Lama Tampakenam Kichukukala Kense Chinjigne Chita Samhe Dulces inama la sakye chaki chapa baptu so hidam guru ragna mandala kam niryatayami. Page 27.
Sanje
Chodan sogi chana
Janjo Bado Dani Jasumchi Chujin Jive Sonamji Tola Penji Sanje Tovara Sanje Chodan Soji Chonana Chanjo Bado Dani Jasum Dagi Chujin Jive Sonamji Tola Penji Sanje Tovara Sanje Chodan Soji Chonana Chanjo Bado Dani Jasum Dagi Chujin Jive Sonamji Tola Benji Sanje Tobara Kanga de Zuni Same, Dawa de Mawayi, the Mission and Denze, Kodam de la Chazela, Tony Nisun and Jubel. Children and the Janabe Montin, Yazolo, so the Zoshin de Lundush. Pandenza Lama Ramboji and the Ningarve Meditation, Gatin Beconages on the Gozon Chumutu, so changes in the Rambosh. Majevana Yavanya Memaya, whenever they pay or show. Down the Gulon, Comchi Capjeta de Tiring in the Chudi Jaya de Magic Samba Sambus, Michela. Pendo Chituachi Church doing it in the Yingi, something Gulon. And watch Jessuas.
So we'll do a short motivation meditation. So your motivation should be today, learning and studying. It should be done with a positive motivation for the intention to benefit others. So with this good-hearted attitude, that's what you want to generate.
Hi, that makes a Kawakum, Arsena. Another Tandalo John she had the Nixie Tanda Jorum, Talilama. Is like the Lomangone, Samlotan, Tikshan Joysonza, another day. Tagiva in the Mixe, any Java Chaggers, Lama than Java Chaggers, Teens and Tindechictary, Tajuchumati, Kawi, Tamchikawakumers.
So you should really rejoice having this opportunity. Are we getting some feedback on the mic? Sounds weird.
What?
Sounds strange to me. So we should rejoice, having this opportunity, this special opportunity to study this specific text, which was put together at the request of the Dalai Lama, and many years' work and thought and contemplation and all these things went into it. So by studying this, we make a special connection with this, with the lamas and stuff. Dalai Chaitanya also. Yeah, so we make a special connection with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So we should feel very fortunate and rejoice in this. Yeah, so because this was the idea or the intention of the Dalai Lama to create this, or the request of the Dalai Lama to create this.
Oh yeah, that also kissing to run a madela. Georgia Nanga Sawaji can so ding a tick the scene line, but see best.
So this verse that was talked about last time, did you guys memorize it? Who memorized it? How many people?
Huh? Okay.
Okay, next week can you memorize it?
You must.
Oh, you have to memorize it.
Just 2 lines, 4 lines. Yeah,
you can do it while you're working, memorize it while you're working. So it's important, like there's a lot of it's clear and important words, and there's a lot of meaning in these words. Yeah, it's on it's on page 169 at the bottom, and then the top of
Maybe
170.
Tingo, you can typing or copy it, send it people, People a little bit become lazy. Student, lazy student. You be lazy and then I have one teacher, and if he give like this homework, you don't have this today reciting. Today he not teaching. You need to go to research. Maybe today, maybe better like that. Just I think I don't know. Maybe you think you're not enough time, isn't it? And then next time. This is very. I read this memoirs, and this was because we talking the modern quantum physics, physics. Exactly, this one is talking Tibetan Buddhism physics. 2,600 years people already taught. Then usually people are talking like that. This is a word here, Then you can research. This is a word showing physics. No need to covering modern standards here, Then we already have proof there, And this was no one like that. I think you're checking this carve in some book, exactly this word's meaning and matching this reality. And then you have more color. Trust come to Buddha's words, right? Buddha's teaching. If you have very trust in Buddha teaching, and you have trust for Buddha, if you have trust Buddha, then your refuge become more stronger. If you don't have trust Buddha, and you just name Buddhism, this reason I said this is very important, or like that. Next week, you need memorize. If you don't have next week memorize, I don't know what teach again. Then you need to go back home, restart reasoning next week. Okay, this week little bit give especially you. Just now, I think 양자에 통다디 양자직 쉐고스로.
Okay, so we'll go over the meaning of it again.
아니 론지단 렐하요로.
Then it's easier to memorize.
책들에도 간징우고 란신지 라랑오라는 통원 신징와달라 도과라는 템바치스로. 그 통다 가서 나 ngobo gung 란신디 ngobo 란신디 란신신다 마데와 랑오라 네데요. 그래서 김생 가래라나 강기체를 간징우 강기체를 김생 가래라비나 아니 ngobo랑 란실레 네버면지 도발라네 민라 템버 도발라네 템바치스데.
민 잠실레
아, 그래?
니퍼디
레오 니엔당에디 아니 통해. 간징우고 란신지 라랑오라나지 통원 신징와달라 도발라는 템바치 어다나. 도발라는 템바치스 민레스 민로. 포와시아로 뭐 탭시아로 아니 메도시아로 추시아 사세밍 아니 코바 남바디 규르드 베나가도 단다데 포워와 아니 포워드 파식스나네 디 제디제 산산의 메도 제차로 그래 산산의 미루 제차로 그래 야 코란 되데 코란 디 식스나네 야 코파 제 코란게 란신데 코란 뭐 당부 됐을 때 그러면 내가 미 파주들이 따와다 아니 종하게 된데 그때 따와다 된데시네 내가 그 민디 주어도 그러면서 제 코나 매버 차트에요 말에 당부가 돼서 여기 다가라나 죽도 그래서 다 딩원에 피직리다 피직원에 리더라
So this when it says here the verse, because all things naturally exist within their own individual essential characteristics, they are dependent on conceptual isolates of a similar or dissimilar class. So because all things naturally exist of their own individual essential natures, means that these so any functional thing, any impermanent phenomena abides in its own, like its own nature. It's separate from the nature of others, and then it's imputed a name upon it, or an isolate is given to it. So this is the second part. They are dependent on conceptual isolates of a similar or dissimilar class. So we have like a cup, a book, or so forth. But this is just a temporary composition. So if this thing which is given this isolated cup will disintegrate, and then the substance that composes that will dissipate out, and then it might go into flowers, it might go into other things, right? So this thing, like a table or a book or something, is just a temporary composition. But the substance of it, the kind of things that make up of it, doesn't get destroyed or created. So this is very similar, or this is what they say in physics as well.
어디 다디 가르된 거라서나 다든다 디 포버디레라라 포버디레라인데 다 포버 마인기도 파제제 포버 임버치 도라다.
Okay.
포버 마인베 조제당 메도당 도서 파 가드 디 마인벨레 추로인데 포버 임버차라다.
Okay.
어디르다.
So now if we take, for example, a cup. If you eliminate everything that's not cup, so everything that's not cup, you get rid of all of that. Then what are you left with? You're left with cup. Right? So you come back to cup. Okay, so if you've got the book, it's page 171 at the top, explaining the negation of being and the negation of not being. Okay. So if you have the negation of not being, you come back to being. So if you say the opposite literally would be the opposite of not being cup is cup. Right? You come back to cup. Or the negation of not being cup, as this goes put it.
포버디 임버라 포버 임버라 디네 파로르디 포 마임버차 다디 포버 탭다 메도다 두즈상마 포버 임벌레 파로디 포버 마임버차라 어디리다.
So then you've got the negation of being cup, or the opposite of being cup, which is everything else. You know, flowers, whatever. So if you say it's not cup, that encompasses everything that isn't cup.
다디 두스 되셔야는데 미카셰기디 먼저 다가스다 친이 배저 친이 줘야기 내가 그랬어. 먼저 이 수수게 저와단 대화요 말을 남니 망고요. 그래서 배 넣어래 배 넣으래. 그래서나 내가 저 대화요 단단히 포바 신기도 하대로. 포바 신인데 내 디포 디 메도디 포바 말에 주저도 포바 말에 디 포바 마임바디 제 팔로디 포바 임바디 시라다. 이 다다 먼저 체매 유시당 그래 맨날라 그 다녀야돼 직 싸워라 마임벌로고 임벌로고 차오르면서 먼저 다다 로데고요 정은 디 포바디 하고발라 마임바디 디 포마 다 포바디에서 와 답디네 다다디 초반만 도와라.
So some people sort of say, oh, this is just learning definitions or for debate. It's no actual connection to our daily life. But that's not actually the case, because this is how we actually relate to the world. So we know, we know something's a cup. And then we also say, well, if it's not a cup, if it's the opposite being of cup, like we know that, for example, a flower is the opposite of being cup, right? And the opposite of not being cup, you come back to cup again. So this is actually, useful to know, because this is how we experience the world.
만화제 저들 미사와실래라 미지 임바하고 오라고 미지 임바하고 되고 미 임바하고 돼 어디 강바다 메도다 모라다 치다 시미다 도 미마레스 고 미임바디 시라 다디 직직신 버데 마임바 직신 딜라 현나 리모 망고요라 언제 미임바 남사하고 오라 데 미레샤스로 미 저들 미사오드라고 거다 미지레 가서네 데 미마르 도 상모 미마르다 코나 미레스 남사싱도 디다달레송하다.
So, if somebody new comes to the center, we know they're a person, right? But by knowing they're a person, we also know they're not everything else that isn't a person. So we know they're not a flower, we know they're not a cat, we know they're not a car. I could go on, right? But the point is that by eliminating knowing they're not everything else, you come back to knowing that they're a person, right?
뉴질랜드에 가래랍디 따티싱 말이고 디테스 마팅 사도라 미디 뉴질랜드 이나 메나 사인데 다 마팅 사도도다 대안 this dogoda.
Right, but then when we go a bit deeper and we say, well, where are they from? Are they from New Zealand? What nationality are they? We don't initially know this, right? We have to dig a little bit deeper to get to this kind of understanding.
어때되나시 응어보 코란래 근데 마팅 사로 돼야 가서 디 릭데 망고요 다 당봉 가서 디 마임벌록 받나 힘벌록을 디시나 디거다.
So that's with all things, right? There's a lot deeper, a lot more to know to them, but at this stage we just want to understand what's the opposite of not being something, right? Or what's the negation of not being something, and what's the negation of being something.
다데 딘데 라도 페제나라 임벌로와 티야 마임벌로와 임바니 텐지 임벌로와 마임바니 텐지 제로 마임벌로나 임벌로나 마임바차 딘이 텐테스레스타 세우차죠.
It says in the text, if applied to specific events, both the negation of being a thing and not being a thing are equivalent, and negation of not being a thing and being a thing are equivalent.
다데나라 임버시베 시저남슬로도 저 마임벌로와 저 인고레스 다 임버시베 시저라디 시저 연가워도 베나 포바디 임버시베 시저레 포바디 그래서나 포바디 아니 미다고다 잉에 포바 잉에지 여바 인자 포바디 임버시베 시저레로 임버시베 시저사디 시저 간 직직라로 미시다 고로거라 디나다 그 시저 연가와 임버시베 시저디 이나 포바 이나 포바 마임벌로고 고 마임벌로고 이나 Okay,
so this only applies to phenomena or objects of knowledge which are possible to be. Like things that are, phenomena that is possible to be. Because if you have the opposite of not being something, then it has to be that thing, which means it has to be, it has to exist. So it only, it has to be. So it has to be that thing.
임버스베 시즌은 교만행벌라고 유스라도 세우차송하디. 임버스베 시즌은 교만행벌라고 데 교잉버디 요레스다. 다 임버 미스베 시즌라 아니 교만행벌라고 데 차요 말스 페나 디 포바디다 트러치티니 니로. 군이 임버 미스베 시절에 가서는 포바 인기 디슈마 인기 포바 요 말을 제가 군이 만행벌라고 디 요 말 가서는 군이 인게지 요 말와. 어디 시고는 매도단 추도로 매도단 추대 간다 주 시도 매든 저 수니직 니 주딩이 차면 저르더니 뭐미시베 시절이다 딜라 고마인 벌로고 요아요 말했잖아
So then there's Yinpimishibisho, which is impossible phenomena, but impossible is not quite the full thing. Yinpimishibisho, it's not possible to be. It's phenomena that's not possible to be would be the literal translation. So what does this mean? So if you have a combination of two things, right, that are mutually exclusive, like this cup and this pen, there's no phenomena that exists which is both this cup and this pen, right, or a cup and a pen. It has to either be a cup or a pen. So this is what is meant by a impossible phenomena, or a phenomena that's not possible to be. So in order for the negation of not being exist for possible, it has to be a phenomena that's possible to be. It doesn't exist for phenomena that are not possible to be.
that delay on the teaching debate to 수수다고로 배나 단다 포바다 뉴구 임범미세 시절에 라라 당제 아주나게 포바 인기 뉴구 인기 니기도나 아니 단다디 임범미세 시차고 말 임범시고 차고
So in Tibet that we say that this like a cup and a pen are there's nothing which is both. That's why it's a phenomena that's not possible to be. However, if you can find a pen cup, you know, good luck. Then maybe we'll have to. There is some weird stuff out there. So, who knows? There may actually somebody's made a pen cup, which I don't know. Yeah. So if that exists, if a pen cup exists, then pen cup suddenly becomes a phenomenon that is possible to be.
The modern, the middle society, the new good economy, those covers the poverty.
Yeah, maybe somebody's made one. Can drink and ride at the same time. Maybe I should try it. Take my notes. See if I can read them afterwards. Might be a bit out of luck.
That's it. That's called Ming Sao correct. Cup torch.
Cup torch. Cup torch.
Cup torch.
There probably is a cup torch, I would imagine. Pen torch, 100%.
Pen torch. The cup torch I never see. Maybe some people want it in the world beginning. I made this fast. You want to put this some to put effort. You know what? After that, what do you got? Me this something now. This on your tongue, I like go shoot. Did search and did him.
So some people might think, oh, I want to be the first to make the pen cup, and then they make it, and then I don't know what they do after that.
The Ravi na career. Something now. Sonia Tomachana career.
So what do you get for being the first to make something, or the first to do something?
You show that. Oh, the tango ngadi. Oh, Chandrakirti Sendra Union, Tangwati, Tango Lala, go show that. The Tangolan career, right?
So, you know, like thinking I'm the first person to do this, or I'm the first person to come to Chandrakirti Center or something. Well, do you get anything for being that?
Let's say in the world I made this pass, you know. Career, the Zambilan Thomas and career.
So what do you get, like, if you're the first person to make something? People seem to like it though, to be the first to do something. Maybe they like this name, this reputation. Yeah, people really like this reputation. I mean, literally Tibetan is name. They say, like this name.
어디 갈 때로서는 아주 직진 추제나 거래 잡대요. 그래서 그렇다.
Then you just cycle around in the 8 worldly dharmas.
아주 직진 추제나 거거지 대대요라고.
So you can just hang out with 8 worldly dharmas all day and cycle around.
어디지? 다되네. 다 이모미스에 시작하고 송하러.
So now, is this clear? What a impossible phenomena. Impossible phenomena is not quite right. It's a phenomena that's not possible to be.
한당한서 딜라 그래 가서 그래. 저번주도 까와단 품바 이모미스에 시작하러. 아니 강바식나라 품바 자다 한번 찍고 까와시어라. 품바 자 한대도 품바 찍신 적 그때 가래라.
So yeah, they have these debates because the common phenomena that's not possible to be is the pillar pot, right? So then they say, well, what if you pile 100 pots on top of each other and use that? What's that? Then, is it still a pot?
어디 품바래 까와 가래스다 까와래 품바 자데 품바 마이나 고무 자 고무 마르벨라 그래 품바 자여라 품바 자데 품바 마르라라 까와라 릴라고라 다당에도 지난도 다가서 저버자 날라고
we don't want to start
no
oh you want to debate with you guys
안도
yeah
안도 니야 품바 자데 거데 품바 마레스 까와릴라라 ande tireti kawareti buma mares chana komu jayaro komu chi komni komsum komu jazik shanje di komu ja marve lagra
so if 100 pots on top of each other are not a pot, then no longer pots, then would $100 not be
no $100 jamarta kon jadam bazik shanje
kon 100 individual dollar coins would not be dollars anymore.
$100 or dollar
wouldn't be 100. No, that's the debate, right?
But isn't in terms of dependent arising, is like the body is made up of different things, isn't it? And it's a body. I mean, doesn't everything exist like that?
Well,
they need conceptual designations for it because, for example, if the $100 coins, if you put them stack up like that, still $100. That's one conceptual designation, but another conceptual designation might be a stack.
Yeah, but the point is, if you glue them all together, then it's no longer $100. Right? Because you can't go to a shop with $100 coins glued together and buy something, right? So,
maybe fully
yeah, but it no longer performs the function of $100. It's all about the function. No, if you glued $100 together, go try to buy something with that and see how you go. That's my point. They no longer function as a pot. Now they function as a pillar. So if they're holding the roof up, like if they're glued to the roof and the floor, how are you going to get water in them? It's not a pillar. The function of the pillar is to hold up the roof. So then it's a pot. Well, Geshe-la disagrees. He thinks that they're a pillar. Oh, God. Right, so basically this idea of this pillar pot, they had this debate in a monastery, is if you pile all these pots together on top of each other and hold, like, functions as a pillar then, because it's holding and use that as a pillar. Then I was saying, well, if it's using it as a pillar, then it is no longer a pot because it no longer forms the function of a pot. Because now it's functioning as a pillar and it can't hold water anymore, right? Because that's the definition of pot is a flat-bottomed, round-bellied water holder. So if it's used to hold up a ceiling, it can't be holding water anymore.
But that's not visual to do.
Okay, so then he decode bumpere. It's just a debate. There's no. It's just a debate. There's no answer. Okay, so you guys have to debate it out and come up with an answer. Yeah, what's up?
We store here. This is good.
Pillar pot is.
Yeah. Yeah. That deal of the Shila Jana Ngo Yimbale Logwadang, Ngo Mayimbo Logwani 20x, Ngo Mayimbo Logwadang, Ngo Wini 20x, teaching the Puma Mayimbo Logwadang, Pumba Yimani 20x. Or the magic lotion, and the magic lotion, and
Okay, so it then goes on to go. If applied to a specific instance, both the negation of being a thing and not being a thing are equivalent, and both the negation of not being a thing and being a thing are equivalent, so too both the negation of not being a vase and being a vase are equivalent, and both the negation of being a vase and not being a vase are equivalent. The negation of not, oh, we haven't done that yet. Okay, lost.
That is which has that been forward left. That the Lepena Dusila. Yimbale Logo Lasama, Mayimba Logo, Power Mayimba Logo, like Power Yimba Chasama.
Right.
That tick the Ni Lavina, Power Mayimba Logo, Mayimba Logo. Nilamna Kachadorsana, Mayimba Chado. Mayimba Logo, Mayimba Logo, Yanga Nilamna Yimbal Mayimba Chado. Mayimba Logo, Chana Yimba Charo, Tambo, Mayimba Logo, Power Mayimba Logo, Yimba Chara.
Yeah.
Nilamna Mayimba Charo. Chiglamna Yimba Charo. Or did it sig?
So you have Bumpum Mayinpule Lokpa. Sorry, Mayinpule Lokpa, Mayinpule. Bumpum Mayinpule Lokpa, Mayinpule Lokpa Nina.
Nilamna Mayimba Charo.
Mayimba. So if you do it twice, the negation of not being a thing, even numbers or twice. So the opposite of not being a vase and the opposite of not being a vase. The opposite of not being a vase and the opposite of not being that becomes not that again.
Mayimba Charo. That's Sumlamna. Tigon Nebe and Yachik Jamna and Yimba Charo.
Okay. Bumpa Mayinpule Lokpa.
Nilamna Mayimba Charo. Sumlamna Yimba Charo.
Okay. So then if you say it 3 times, you come back to being a vase. So once, the opposite of not being a vase is a vase. And then there's twice, so Bumba Mayinpule Lokpa Mayinpule Lokpa is the opposite of not being a vase. Not that, the opposite of that. How's he translated it? The negation of the negation of the negation of being a phenomena, which is not an exact translation, but that makes sense. So the negation of not being a phenomena. So it basically, odd numbers, it's that thing, and even numbers is not that thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you say it. It doesn't matter. It's just even any even numbers of times of saying it. So there's the negation of not being a thing, then there's the negation of not being a thing, then there's the negation of the negation of not being, and so forth, and it goes on. So.
That channel Tashim that Maranzo Mimangoji, that machine the ladder, Sheni, the Bezete, the half and you get the on the Pevelame server, Yimbalo, Yilomilos, Pavaglama server is in Mangoyer. The Pevelame server, man, they Samanamdena, Javapindu doing the Tele, Shenla, Togwadi, Shenla Logwaste, Savana Sevdo, Nalenta, Lomen Cholange, Java Kebe Sunshine, the Pevelame South Station, your mother, Kashedi, the Pevelame, the Tobaja and servers in Goma Senya Mangoyer, they Sevda.
You know, there's a common opinion, or many people think that this was just made up by like Tibetan teachers in order for debate, right? Like it was constructed in order to have this Tibetan style of debate function in that way. But that's not actually the case, as it says here, and it shows here that it was actually by the Nalanda scholars in the explanation. In the explanation of valid cognition, it states, although in that regard reversing the other and opposing the other.
Oh, that Jimmy Kiranzo meeting the Lamia, you know, did 60, you know. Oh, they does it where the Lamenta search Mare, did they Lavin Cholon, Zawana, did was, they did say Jalada,
So,
Shagri Tagda.
there you could say that if somebody says, "Oh, and I was just made up by Tibetan Lamas," no, you can say it's actually Chandrakirti who said it in this explanation of valid cognition. Now we go on to universals and particulars.
Hugh.
Yeah.
No, the dural that Maimala, there's go through that.
Like if you debate this and this, like because it goes and it gets quite confusing.
Some monks say Maimbalo. Sometimes we count Maimbalo. We counting this, you know. Yeah, you counting Maimbalo. Then finding and then you give answer.
Yeah, they taught me in the monastery. So it's my Yimbala Lokva, and you go like this to count whether it's even or odd, and you know where it's got back to.
You need answer very shortly. Oh yeah, there's the.
Yeah, they don't want you to hang around.
You miscount it and you have wrong answer. Then you have cha. Funny. That time in 1989. Yeah, I was in 21 years old. In 1989, at that time I did study, you know. And I remember, and my teacher, and very little bit hard to this understand, and he put there one cup, teacup, and one said he put dry bread, and one said he put mala, you know, and you can do like that, and like that, and finally this hot bread, and he give for us little bit, and we thought just eat, we would don't eat. He give this dry bread little bit, give our hand, you know. We thought just eat, we eat it. He said, don't eat, already finished. He said, oh, you're so hungry. Yes, we are so hungry, you know. And he gives some fruit, apple, and we have 10 monk, you know, something like that. And only three apple. He cut it, maybe three quarter. And some little bit big one making halfway. And 2 pieces, very small, you know. 2 pieces, 1 piece is very small. Or 2 pieces very small. And then he put the, you know, one is there, one is in the hand, you know, and which you right hand, left hand, okay, like that, you know. Yeah, I remember this. He do laws like that. If we, for example, I give last week Como you, and nobody memorize, and he said you go back first you memorize, and he take out. If we memorize this, and he give present.
Okay, next week.
Okay. I don't have fruit here. And you want chocolate?
Buy some chocolate.
And one time, at that time, we have first facility is very poor, and he has lost people offering singlet and socks and towels like that. And one time, he don't give it us. He asked a definition. Which subject? I think refuge subject. Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, refuge, and the words, you know. And then he didn't give homework. Just he asked, what is Buddha's definition? That time we have 5 monks, and we all memorize. And he's so happy. He said, "What is Dharma? What is?" We all memorize, and which is these words, you know. And we all memorize. And he's so heavy. He stand up. He go back. He has small door, small, house, room. They have put his stuff, and he brings singlet, socks, and towel, and then he put in the table, and he looking like that. At that time, I had very odd singlet, working, and I had like this, like that, and he saw this. Oh, maybe you need this singlet. And then they have socks and towel, and he don't know what it, and he put the, he give this right hand, left hand, he give like that. Yeah. And then we go to his teaching, and we have some preparation. We had a little bit expectation. Yeah, today we have some present, and we don't have enough preparation. We little bit afraid. Yeah. This is amazing, like that. And he do every month house cleaning, and extra clothes put one set, and he never he give in student and extra clothes give like that. Funny. If you want the next time present, then I need to go back. If you remember that, I need to go back. Don't bring chocolate.
Next week, eh?
But.
If the teacher's happy, that's enough.
Okay.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah.
I want chocolate.
Momo, you want Momo?
Yep. Where do I go hide for that?
Okay, so we're going to universal and particulars.
This quite the way. That Jiri ni several tension the Yemen tongues. The pageant de la moche. That Jitini store de Roshan me. Jitini is a jingo ni she develops. Rangi is a Allah so Talado Rangi, Jitini than Jen Poyuna in the Dele Several. Rangi several just to a chiro. Or did that jingo. Rangi several just to a jingo that did tinny to the Lapshana diagro. She said the rank several just to a chiro.
So if we go on to the next page, where it goes, the definition of a universal is a phenomena encompassing its specific instances, you could say. I don't know what this instantiations is. I just read it as instances, and now I'm looking at it properly. It's like instantiations. Does anybody know what that word means?
Several just to a chiro.
Essentially, it's a phenomena that Perky, can you look?
Rangi severs in Rangi severs in Rangi sever chida. They're just to which is Rangi sever just to which.
So Rangi sewa, which is like means it's particulars, right? Which is this instantations is its sewas or particulars. And Jesujo cho, and it's a phenomena that encompasses that. So encompasses its particulars, essentially, is the meaning.
The Tirna Labda, they do, Anton. Rangi several just to which jingo, Rangi sewa shivas, Rangi sewa shiva, Rangi chidala kogres,
Okay.
Rangi sewa shiva, Rangi chidala kogres.
So, sorry, it even says that in the book. It's specific instantations are necessarily understood as its particulars.
Pena Tinshini Kawada, Ovada, Shejata, Yovada, Pumzitovala, Pumwayabala, what the ways or the Shadwa.
Yeah.
Adi, the race, Rangasavalogist stories.
So its instances include such things as a pillar, a thing, a knowable object, existence, and what appears as a vase, to the conception apprehending of ours.
다 배나 가와스야디 지레스 가와 랑 세월 술레제스 도버라나 젠데지 가와 슈베 가와 데 가와 어디도 가웨 세워테다 제도 인자 가웨 테달라 제스도사 가웨 테달라 차바 인자 아니 제스도사 제스도사 차베 테르 마 임베 테르 젠데지 가와 슈베 가와 데 가와 디지 가와르바 가와 치디 디젤마 도데요라 어디시고
So, in the manner in which to say a pillar encompasses particular is that a sandalwood pillar, juniper pillar, stone pillar, and so on, also specific instantations of a particular kind of particular kinds of pillars. These types of pillars pervade all those particulars. Hence, a pillar itself is said to encompass its instantations. So basically, this idea of encompassing also means to pervade. So pillar pervades all types of pillars, right? Meaning that a sandalwood pillar is a pillar, etc. So pillar pervades all the instances of pillar.
답변은 미디 지레스 라고서 미디 지레스 랑 세월제 미스나 아니 누조미 샤조미 아니 아메리카미 아니 페웨미 아니 뉴질랜드미 인데도와 인데 오스트레일리아미 어디도 고두다 와디르다.
So if you say human being, right? A human being is a universal, and then the instances would be a Western, a human being in the West, a human being in the East, an American human being, a New Zealand human being. You could just say person, right? And it's not literal, but person. So a person in the East, the West, an American person, a New Zealand person, and so forth.
Hadi sewa chazonga. 다디네 지딜라 데주리 코네 예원디 릭지 촉지 튠지 사이즈도와 다디 직시나요.
So if universals are clarified on the basis of two universals appended to three categories. So this is what they say?
릭지.
What was the word that they used for that? Terminological. These are terminological divisions. Right? Everybody remembers the difference between literal divisions and terminological divisions? Okay. So then there's three types. Type universal, composite universal, and object universal. Three different types of
universal. 릭지레드 칼라우스나 나 릭지 tonda 카레라베나 랑 릭진라 제스트웨치 신시 가와 먼저 미 요바 가와다 밀라람나길 가와스비 데스 가보다 밀라랍샤나 미디 아니 ngana rik chik pala chawre mi rik chik pala ngazo mi de mi sia de ngazo mi rik chik pala meshe ne chida lokda rida chuda dozala ko chagu maro kona rik chik pala chi chawe da rik chi la derda.
So this universal type encompasses things that are that thing, right? Like, for example, we say human. That covers human beings in like New Zealand human beings, East human beings, Western human beings. It doesn't cover dogs and cats and these things. You know, like you couldn't say a New Zealand cat is a human being because it's not. So it's not of the same type.
So it
goes on to say universal types, universals and universal type universals are equivalent. So if it's a universal, it encompasses things, its particulars have to be of this type, of the same type. So if it's a universal, it necessarily a type universal and so forth. They're synonymous, equivalent or synonymous.
다디 세우셔서 다디네 속지세드 속벌라고 야 속벌을 울찬죠 빼나 랑 체제 두머디에 소라고 하디 속지래서 속지당 속라관이 된지 빼나 소라고 하서나 빼나 포버디 소라고 그래 그 자식 두대망고 야초 디나 취단 매단 롱다 도저야 속벌야 차외 아니 지성의 인자 속지서다.
So a composite universal is defined as a coarse form that is a collection of its multiple parts. the two, composite universal and coarse material form, are equivalent. So like gross material form or coarse material form is a compounding of all these parts, and that's also known as a composite universal.
어디 배나 디나는 배제는 품바샤다 품바디 랑게 차시 추단 샵단 도와단 뒤타럽서 두 마씩 쳐벌레 두에 공부예만나 아니 속지스레스도 어디마.
So examples included such as a vase, a tree, a stream, and so on. Since a vase is a physical entity compounded of the collection of its numerous parts, such as the spout, base, belly, and numerous subtle particles, it is a composite universal.
다디가 나서 수라고 창마레 매도의 추다. 다 수라고 창마 속지르다. 고 두진 예디아요라 추 조아 추 메사 아니 두 속티로 렉자 디제야 초고요라. 아니 나라 이 가도 디즈야 초고요라. 디즈 창마 야 초고딜라 아니 속지에서 왔다.
So anything, all physical things like gross physical things like flowers and trees and so forth are all part of this. Anything that's composed of these 8 elements, the earth, fire, wind, water, tactile, smell, taste, and everything except sound. My brain's not working. I couldn't get the other 4. So tactile, taste, smell, and seeing, yeah. Visual.
Sing.
Yeah, visual.
Ting.
Seeing.
What? Your question?
Couldn't like one object, like for an example, cat, be both a universal and a particular depending on the relativity of what we're talking about? So it's just a designation. For example, if we had the universal of animals, then a cat is a particular. But then if we took cat as the universal, then the cat is the the striped cat and the black cat. And it's a universal. But if the cat is a particular of the group of animals, but then it's a universal of the group of cats. So wouldn't the universals in particular still just conceptual designations, the relative?
Yeah. So if something's a universal, there's many things that are both a universal and a particular. For example, cat. So cat is a particular of animals, but it's also universal because it covers Siamese cats and tigers and whatever else. Right? So the chi chidrak nyuke yinke mambu yore pena shimi mamu yore shimi chi tan chidrak nyukere. So the kande hago
dire shimidi chi inde kola chirayorwa shiminago shimikawo shoyorwa ta shimi chira inde ngowe chirarwako dire.
So yeah, like cat is a universal because there's many instances of cat, like a black cat, a white cat, and so forth. But cat is also particular because it's a particular of thing or impermanent phenomena. Yeah, there's many things that are both. So there's many things like that, like pot, person, things that are both universal and particular. So then we have this generic, an object universal or generic image. This is the third one.
아니 찍마인바 신주 찍다위 나외 낭자디 이 싱그레스 답변하면서 당부 싱지 통으로 와서 싱지 통으로 미크 통으로 받나 단징어서 최전에 연디 대화 싱망부 통구다 나가도 봐 싱충보들도 미크 통구다 다 단다 싱딩어서 셈난 튕기도 싱 숙삼다운디 싱지 셈난 나와 샤용고도 오 데레다 튼질라데 데레다
So this generic image is important to understand because like it is something that appears to be like that's not that thing that appears like that thing. So, for example, there's a lot of trees around. So when you walk up the path of Chandrakirti, you see trees, right? Or walk around, you see these trees. Now, when you think of one of these trees, this appears to your mind as if it was that tree, right? But of course, it's not actually that tree.
데 튼지 데레다 알레디 싱 마레다 데 라우 마르체 게즈 라모가 데 망올라 데토 데 싱기 튼지 데레스라다 다게 데
Okay, so that's the generic image of that tree.
심날 샤르텐 조스토 What
appears to the mind is the generic image of that tree.
다 데나시 페나 네 신디 도 신디 랑게 되네 고바 나와 신디 다 탄다 마란 상모 데나라 수수 당기 샤나라에 마용고나 샤나라 가르체베 심날 샤르기도 와 샤나라 자동바 이나레 컴퓨터 라고 참바 이나레 야 수수 가바로 가지 라고 참바 이나레 야메네 수수 싱날 돈바 좀 된데 저란도 돈바 좀 된데 꾸돈라 곰바 곰자위는 디디 당기 샤나 샤가 상노 샤든 단다 심날 샤데기도 오 데레다 이제 던질라 데레다 심날 샤르 던져도 데레다
So this happens a lot. Like if we think of, say, our room or our house or something like that, we can think of all the things when that appears to us. We can think, oh, we've got our computer there, we've got this, our window, our doors, our bed, whatever. We can see it appears. All these things appear to us, right? When we, if we have statues or our altar, all the things on that appear to us as well. There's that appearance.
다들 튼유영저 튼지세 당랑저 단당랑저 초왕거나라 당랑저 디janjang 내가 제도고
So in our life we actually relate a lot to these things like these generic images.
안제 미로질 가게유네 심날 미디샤 제데도 민고네 데다 단다 심날 샹조니 베 로가리다 거네 제네라.
So like if we like somebody, then when we think of that person, that we think that actually we're thinking about that person, but actually the actual person is quite different to this generic image. It's the same with stuff, things.
This sometimes this sounds like 강에도 다 마주름데 용구도 다 thing around 심날 샤든 조지릴라나 네 강에데 총으로도 그래. 디셈바이나다 셈바이나.
So sometimes when we're going through difficulties or having problems with something there, if we can actually identify this, saying this thing I'm thinking of is not actually the person, then that can help to eliminate, or not actually the situation, can help to bring our difficulties down.
당기도 저보다 자래로 깨자로 주셔 아디디가 배도자 제삼 등원에선 살아왔다 단다야 셈날라 수수 셈날라 샤든 요데 진데로다 레도다 디죠 다 된다 저면도 되네.
If you think about this person horrible, this person did this to me and they're so bad because this is what they did, but actually that happened before. Now it's just all that's happening is you're holding on to it in your head. So we're just going around with this generic image of this person, hanging out with them.
독배 타워 남세지 세상에서 독배 징대요래서 데리 독보 코라는 게 징배게제 말아 독배 튼지디나는 거 고르 잡지 아니 가서 디나라 디네 파 된도고요 말다 독배 징 독배 타워 독배 징대요래서 디 독바디 먼저 디나와디는 고코지 되거라 데리
bound up 독배 징 bound in this conceptuality, so we're not actually relating to the thing, we're relating to this generic image of this thing, so we get caught up in holding on to this conception we have and just cycling around in that. This conceptual appearance. Cheng, bound up in this conceptual appearance. Question?
Yeah.
So are generic things associated?
Can you give me an example?
So we make associations between things. Is that
like you mean is something good or bad, or what do you mean associate? give me.
When we see a tree, we associate that with other trees. So it's associating being generic.
Okay. So when we when we see, for example, we see a tree, we associate it with other trees. So is this association related to the generic image? Is that? So nanso shing la sakpatana deni di shing re di shing any shing di shempa draw re di kande di draw so semlang draw kande so di tonchi la teni so it's a good question.
Di tuwa di dadare, che zang, di nganzo ina, tunji di sogo warda. Pena nganzo, tangbo nganzo buku chunju kala xing tongro wa. Ina di xing ri la di nganzo hagu goyo mar, tangbo xing yinba hagu goyo mar. Da xing labsha nandi kiro, pena xing ma la da moda labshu, moda labshu wa. Da buku chunju ya baby cha, ane dawa nga tuk tu ya chamba cha di, moda chinji shenanti ko moda yinba hago mara chik nawa shinda shaadero ta antine amage di moda reda ta di moda reda lara no di moda res ta tingma thangbo de ame lara shembra ta ta tingma niwa la shinda chik thong di di moda res lab thukda onze di moda re di moda di thangi ke di nawa di ke tokpe nawa di ke ane lente je ane shingi yo res ta
konda tokpe
nawa gyu je tunji nawa digi ta jiri la deba ko chabdo go yoro di tunji di tangi moda gi tunji di moda niba de le tunji di go yoro di zang ko digi di tokba di chamba di tembo yo na nawa di tembo digi yoro di na di to gi yu ten yu shin ya di digi yo zang nawe chi gi yoro sa di nangbe gi shedan di nawe ga na takda do.
So yeah, it is like that for ordinary people like us, right? We generate these generic images. So for example, when there's a child, they just have the appearance of things, like a car. They don't know it's a car, they don't know what a car does, right? They just have this appearance of the car. And then their mother or somebody will explain to them, okay, this is a car and this is what it does. Then the next time when they see a picture or see another car, then they can associate, that's a car, even if it's a different car, right? They can associate. Because you've created this this universal generic image for car, right? And this is, then when you see cars, you can link them, associate them together because of this universal generic image car that we've created.
And it's
like that with all things. So the first time we kind of come in contact with something or new, then we have to create this generic image.
튼지들라로 똑바디 매차도 튼지디 매차그러 아니 똑바디 때문에도 아니 미지 템바 때문에 매차도 아니 모다지 통바이나 디카레 딩상 아란데 데면자 차야지도 길 되어야다.
Based on this conceptuality, this conceptualization that we have these generic images. If you don't have this conceptualization, then you don't have these generic images. And people who have memory problems, it's not functioning properly, and then they can see a car and not know what it is because they've lost this link or this conceptualization, so they can't associate them.
하지단도 야 리카시 레버던 되어요와 나 레버도 되어 메베릭디 아니 튼지규는 되어래 튼지규야 될라 똑바고고요 똑바디 템보고고요 템바 당조에 단다 템바라 똑바.
Okay, so like neurologists or whatever might say it's a brain issue, but leaving aside the brain, from a mind perspective, it's a degeneration of this generic image through this degeneration of this memory, which is essentially this degeneration of this conceptualization. You need this conceptuality to be able to have memory, and you need this memory to be able to associate with these generic images.
the talkba the tempos temba the tempos ora temba the tempo the talkba tunji the tempo de ora tunji the tempo de ani yu the lamsan share la jogbo dan tenya la jogbo cha dusre.
So that's why, you know, they say when people meditate have, like, improves your memory. If you have good memory, it's from having this stable conceptualization, right? Because if this generic image in the mind remains clearly in the mind, then that's how you remember things, is via these generic images. The Panchi Latini Trengidu, right? Right, so it comes quickly and it's stable because this generic image is very clear in the mind. So if you have really clear recollection, memory, then that's calm abiding, you know, your mind's always... Oh, sorry, I've got that wrong. If you have calm abiding, then you have very clear memory. Very clear memory is not calm abiding.
세상다 디인디 먼저 곰자 지고 말해 배나 결혼도 매도 정도 천연 정도 천연디 심 단디 야고지 따위나
like an onion
천천
a picture painting
매도
sorry not an onion I thought that
was 천 세상 아니 you
maybe I'm hungry
I can say painting he called onion maybe you're hungry.
Well, it sounds very similar.
These two, sometimes I heard English was similar. You heard some together I guess pinned color pinned. He heard on. Song
and son. Song and son is very similar to me anyway.
Maybe your genetic image a little bit gone.
We can do onion will work. Let's do onion.
Ayo, tiro aja. Ayo, tak harus.
You're supposed to go what you wanted to say.
Me genetic image gone. Nggak dia aja. Gom ja, jala medola dus yagoji tawi na. 아니 템바데 제 튼지 나와데 세워야 보는 거로 나와 세워요는 나와 템보 되거로 아니 제라 람산 튼야디 세워다 어디를.
Yeah, so if you have a flower, for example, and you see it a lot and you really clearly focus on it, then that creates a clear generic image. And then if you ever want to recall that flower, right, and the color and whatever, it comes very quickly and very clearly because you've created this clear generic image of it.
세상에 만서 뒤에 당랑서 템바 템보 매버 차도나 잘라로 어딘데 샤이나 잘라디 상상 데 샤바 템보 딩면도 자디 네 잘라디 데 샤바 인지 야고 지 따위나 아니 니머니 섬랑 남산 튕구리 잘라데 샤는 상는 신다다나 아니 제일 거샤 하고 말와 데샤 데샤요 데디 잘라 데샤이다 상는 요다나 안 딱다 템보지.
If you're always losing stuff, right, like you don't have a good memory for things, then, you know, this technique of actually taking a moment when you put something down, like, okay, this pen, you go, okay, and you take a moment to say, okay, there's the pen, and really kind of embed it, then maybe 2-3 days later you'll be, I remember exactly where the pen is. Whereas if you just kind of drop the pen and then go off immediately do something else, it's hard to remember where you put the pen.
Especially your car key, you know.
Yeah.
Car key.
Yeah.
Put there. Sometimes talk 3 times. My car keys put there. They pen go wrong.
Car keys, yeah.
Car key, the mimango going to
yeah, car keys is still difficult. Google can find my phone.
Maybe go to car key put here, you know.
You need to be able to find
Sungado, car key, Sunganaji code.
Oh, sorry, what?
Tunganaji delta car key and what a low background.
Oh, like on a string.
Tunga, Sunga.
It's like a necklace. Or...
Oh,
there's
the
blessing cable. Oh, okay. Magical enchanted cable for your keys.
When I was young, spoon.
Yeah.
Spoon putting here, small spoon. and eating noodles, and I already have here, and we all have each person spoons taken together. Put here. spoon, hey, small, silver spoon. Oh, tuma. Spoon. And the cup, needle.
Oh, needle, yeah.
Needle is already here, needle. And the small nut, needles. And the the kilo.
Yeah, so always carry these three things,
And
essential for living in
and cup,
Tibet.
cup. Cup,
Like your actual cup paper?
cup,
oh, right.
Shingi cup, yora.
Yeah, so you had this wooden, like, little bowl, like it's a cup, essentially. They drink tea out of it.
One time, we go to in school, and I put here my cup, and we had a little bit fighting, fighting. And someone will punch me here, boom, my cup broken. And my father said, "What happened to your cup?" I'm falling down. You came, he said. And my sister laughing. Funny. My sister and we have very good relationship. And sister together when we ended school together and look after cow together, Yeah, there is. Oh, do you have question? Question finish? And people, no question. I think this time no need homework, just you do this one memorize, okay. Yeah.
Repeat of last week's homework
last
this week.
Homework, I think.
Well, put it in your mind.
Oh yeah, you are lucky.
Oh yeah, you got 2 weeks to memorize it.
Oh,
Good on you.
I think.
Don't get carried away now, people.
I think.
Let's see if you can do one.
It's okay. Okay. Well, I think Buddha. I request you. Last week in India, you bring the cookie, chocolate, or the biscuit cookie, small one. Cookie.
I'm from Austria.
You bring cookie in India.
Yeah.
Oh, you make this one. No.
And memorize the verse. While you're making them, you memorize the verse.
No, you can ask mother call.
She's in Austria.
This.
Like shaped like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you get them here or no?
I have to make them.
Yeah, you make. You
can memorize the verse.
No, you ask first. You memorize the words. If you memorize words, then you can ask your mom. You don't memorize, no asking.
Two jobs. Should have just memorized it last week. You could write. You could make like fortune cookies with the verse inside.
No, also maybe. No, also.
We're all going to be fat after memorizing this verse.
Also. Maybe bingo.
Don't try to hide, Bingo. What are you doing? You were the first one to point out that how much butter needs to make these biscuits.
No. I think good. How many people? Maybe. Bingo good making some muffins. One time she made.
Those peanut butter biscuits. Yeah, we want some of those as well.
I think. First you check both. Ask people after weekend, Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday.
Can we get
When they ask people, you memorize, they already did memorize, then you can make.
Can we get some socks as well and towels? Socks and singlet.
Yes, I bring some socks.
Guess you can bring the socks. Okay.
I bring tea. I have lots of tea. Tea. Which tea is better? But different your memories. Yeah, okay, now it's through here.
Page 31.
Sanje shinje mende wa yin, doga nanga shin la che parasho. Choze ra di shin, nanga tin le cho chu je wa tang, hosa timbe drome sa. Dwe me se da do ne ju chi. Vara ne mende la kane ya ta ya me. Gyawadi nyada na sanje tukiri doji jamani wadi yada bawa sho. Jesu jere maji maji bada jiri jawa nyama mewa ya wadi wadi bawa sho. Chande wada jiri jawa da jiri rangu jizo yi gyawadi zenda yi jizo wada jizo yi jizo jizo. Tenpa rinji jiri maji wa choji nyamba juwe jizo niji shimba yiru jawa yi pende de sawa jawa jiri tenpa rinji choji ma. Tenpa rinji choji ma jawa chabja nyamba chaba nyamba ma yi niji shimba yiru jawa yi pende de sawa jawa jiri. Zede wadu la jiri jawa kama we jiri na we zama na jiri zama jawa la tinyu ma sawa jiri tara jiri. Yawa lo danda wa yi jimba yi na ma jiri jiri kani lo wa yi ma jiri pena de wa ma na jiri jiri sawa jiri jiri. Chere si de wa ni jiri
Savior of this world, and teaching sentence, my great readings. May the dream live half in me, relation of emptiness and compassion. To the ladies of solutions and gets all the sage. May all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You have hope of centuries far away, deserves the bountiful bearer of hope, sustaining and preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine. With mastery, accomplishment, and praise, honoring the three jewels. Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please no. By relying on the true revelations of myself and others for the 3 times, may the teachings of the conqueror self-sacrifice for all mankind.
Is there online people? You only people next to memorize, and we can send a cookie or post. I think cookie post sponsor is Joseph and Paul. And maybe Peter can do post.